held me back when I tried to move on from your life. So you stole my life for clarity. So hold me back, now you're here. Cause I'm mad, show no fear. Wanna let you know just how it felt. Oh no, 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 no. Don't you think we could? There's a way we could be. No, oh no, 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 no. I know the way you look at me, I know it too well. Now I'm bulletproof. You might find your gun, but I'm flying high. I'm bulletproof. Don't ever touch the ground. You can never bring me down. You can never bring me down. Can never bring me down. Cause I'm bulletproof. Yeah, I'm bulletproof. We've been up, we've been down, trying to figure things out. End up losing myself in this but I'm done being done. Gotta end it all now. I won't ever turn around again. Oh no, 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 no. Don't you think we could? There's a way we could be. No, oh no, 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 no. I know the way you look at me, I know it too well. Now I'm bulletproof. You might find your gun, but I'm flying high. I'm bulletproof. Don't ever touch the ground. You can never bring me down. You can never bring me down. Can never bring me down. Cause I'm bulletproof. Cause I'm bulletproof. Cause I'm bulletproof. Yeah, I'm bulletproof. You might find your gun, but I'm flying high. I'm bulletproof. Don't ever touch the ground. You can never bring me down. You can never bring me down. Can never bring me down. Now I'm bulletproof. You might find your gun, but I'm flying high. I'm bulletproof. Don't ever touch the ground. You can never bring me down. You can never bring me down. Can never bring me down. Cause I'm bulletproof. Yeah, I'm bulletproof. Cause I'm bulletproof.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. How are you, squaddies? Just give me a thumbs up or a one in the chat if you can hear me. Oi. So not a whole lot to go through today, just some bits and pieces. So it's going to be a speedy one. And there seems to be quite a big group chat going on in Twitter Spaces. So if you wanted to hop on to Twitter Spaces after this, then definitely do, because I think I saw like 500 people in the space. So must be quite a big chat and debate going on there. It's always great to see squaddies just creating spaces to talk and discuss and form community with everywhere. Let's see who's here. Oh, thank you to all the new members that have joined. And as always, to mods and everyone who supports. I feel like I don't thank you all enough, but it's always appreciated. Yes, Jeanette, happy hump day to you. See if I can spot any new names today. Nelly Dean, I don't think I've seen you before. Hello. Who else? Because we've got so many new subscribers just in the last few days. So if you're still not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button and thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. And welcome to all of the new subs. I just can't believe how quickly the channel has grown, especially like just in the last few days. And yes, I did move the podcaster today because I was so tired yesterday. So tired. And you all know that I hate to do low energy podcasts. Oh, thank you, Maggie. You love the new opening. Yeah, I do like to switch it up every now and again. Ginger Lily. Did you recently just change your name to Ginger Lily? Was it something else before? Ah. All right. Hello to all the regulars as well. Paul Charles, you're in Montecito, and I was curious. I love the end part. Oh, thank you very much. I love that you guys love to dance along and get involved with the chat. All right, I think all of the regulars are here as well. I think the only person I can't see is Lydia, but maybe she's just busy. But thank you everyone for coming today, and let's get started. Okay, so yes, this is the gene pool, the female gene pool of Lilibet Diana. We will not pay attention to the men. I did not put this together. This was taken from Twitter, but wow, what an amazing and interesting gene pool this girl child has. Historians will have a lot to say about this because it is actually just quite amazing when you look at this. And yeah, so that's that. Also, some nice news for the company who the bow that Lily was wearing. I think it has been ID'd, and it seems like the company was called Village Baby. And as you can imagine, the the bow started selling out instantly. Lilibet is now officially a influencer, and the bow itself was actually called the Lily Bow. So yes, Megan always being very thoughtful for the pieces that she picks out, because she knows that she is effectively the world's biggest influencer at this point. Not to put them in the same category in terms of who they are, but in terms of just influence when it comes to fashion and people following and buying. It's basically like Megan, Kim Kardashian. Who else do people buy a lot from? Rihanna. And I'm talking just in terms of how they influence people to buy. I'm not talking about who they are. Please, no one say that I'm comparing Megan to Kim Kardashian. But yeah, they're like the top, I wear it, you buy it influencers right now. To the point where people were buying the furniture that Harry and Meghan were sitting on in the Oprah interview. And now a Lilibet's bow sold out as well. The cake, it's been confirmed, was created by Violet Cakes London, which did Meghan and Harry's wedding cake. Now, it wasn't confirmed exactly that this was the cake, but this is what she posted with a heart. And we know that Meghan does like peonies. So it's quite interesting that the cake has peonies. So I'm going to safely assume, that this was Lilibet's birthday cake. Let's just hit your comments before we move on to the next part. Sharon, let's acknowledge how much Lily looks like Doria. I do see a little bit of Doria in her. Of course you would, because you can see a little bit of Megan and Doria as well. Charles and the Sister Squaddies, I noticed that everything Meghan and Harry, Lilibet, Archie always turns to gold, and the Cambridges turn to disaster. Well, when you're putting so much negative energy out into the world, it's just going to come back to you. I mean, look at Eamon Holmes. I actually forgot to make a slide, although I did make a TikTok. Guys and dolls, like, I'm on TikTok now. If you want to follow me on TikTok for shorter, funnier videos, you can follow me. But I made a TikTok about Eamon Holmes, who was screaming, throw Harry off a balcony, and now he's got apparently back pain, and he's had to sit out from his GB News duties. So, and somebody tweeted on Twitter, well, I hope nobody threw him off a balcony, and that's why he has a hurting back. You just cannot put out that much negativity into the world and expect for it to come back to you. And at this point, if I was a Harry and Meghan hater, quite frankly, I would be terrified because literally everybody who has been mean and horrible to this couple, it's all coming back to them. So, yeah, Eamon Holmes has gotten his. Next, Piss Moron, and after that, Angela Levin, one by one. Sharon, she looks a little like all the beautiful ladies in her family. I think so as well. And the hat you bought reminds me of that Meghan had at church. Yeah, I have entered my classy lady hat wearing phase, and I will continue to wear hats and flowers in my hair. And I encourage everybody else to do the same. Oh, you saw the TikTok? Lovely. Yeah, go follow on TikTok. I did a video of the double standards, the way Catherine and Meghan are treated with their children, and that video has close to like 10,000 views already, which I was quite surprised by. Yeah, people were getting very heated in the comment section, especially Kate's fans. But whatever, I'm just ignoring. Yeah, Crystal, they've got too much energy on their hands. Like, how can you hate that much? Hello, Kat Harlem. Thanks for joining. You think that the league is paying all these people to hate on Harry and Meghan? I think so as well, because I just can't understand where some of these hater accounts just suddenly pop out of and randomly find you. There's got to be someone who is consciously going around and finding pro-Sussex accounts to hate on. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, moving on. In other royal family news, one of the Norwegian princesses has married her boyfriend, Shaman Direct. This is Martha Louise of Norway. And I actually did a video about their romance some time back. You can go back to my videos and check that out. And it turns out that he actually saw the video and commented saying, we listen to your very accurate, listen to you very accurate indeed. I like the way you speak. And I had to like double check that was actually him. And I went to his channel and yeah, that was actually him. So they've announced their engagement, and just wishing them the best. It definitely raised a few eyebrows in Norway for reasons obvious, and but they seem to be really happy. She seems happy. He seems happy. Another royal who is breaking the mold. It wasn't too long ago that the Princess of Japan actually married a commoner also. So yeah. And I can't imagine there will be as much drama with a Norwegian family, Norwegian royal family, as there has been with the Windsors. And yeah, back to the Windsors. Mike Tyndall, this fall, that decided to come for Harry. He obviously doesn't seem to understand royal protocol, because he was mouthing off about the Jubilee on a podcast. And he shared why the royals supposedly wanted to leave the Jubilee pageant as soon as possible. Well, no surprise there. It genuinely looked like they wanted to hightail it out of there at the nearest opportunity, especially Louis. So Mike Tyndall shared his thoughts on the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, revealing that what the family did at the end of the pageant. He went on to say, no, there wasn't really. He said, after the pageant, it was basically try and get out as quickly as you can. Oh, gosh. Somebody is going to get cancelled by William. I don't think there would be any more brotherly hugs, because this just makes the family look even more terrible, given what we've seen from the Jubbly, the kids biting, licking faces, smacking people. And then this. So he goes on to say, there was more after the concert. We all chatted together because we went in and had a drink after, but not really after the pageant. Okay. I don't know why he would say this, because it doesn't make the family look good at all, but he doesn't come across as that bright. And this person here said, what is going to be my absolute final thought on the Jubbly, and I will never talk about it again. They said, breaking, North Korea just held a 4-day party, which cost $1 billion, in which celebs cheered a massive hologram of Kim Jong-un, and everyone forced smiles and pretended to love him, while North Korean children went without food and necessities. So glad I live in a normal country like the UK. And that is the final thing I have to say about the jubibi, the juicy fruit, the giblet. But the thing I love about all of this, when it's all said and done, is that Harry got what he wanted. Harry won again. He got the protection that he wanted, obviously, or else I don't think he would have come. A personal walk-in with his wife and sat with his favorite cousins. By the way, Eugenie posted a picture of the balcony moment, and she cut out Kate. And some people are taking that as shade. I don't know. You can take that how you want it. But I thought that was interesting. Anyway, onto the tweet. It says, baby girl met his grandmother. Baby boy saw his grandmother. Celebrated baby's first birthday with friends. Didn't offer his kids to the media. Didn't have to speak to his brother. Harry won. And we only have one picture of Meghan with some friends at Lilibet's birthday party, but there were a number of people who did post on their Instagrams about seeing Meghan and the little ones. Daniel Martin, sorry, not Daniel Martin, the other guy who I think did her hair when she was in the UK, and also Sarah Chapman, who used to do her facials. She posted about seeing the kids and getting to see Meghan as well. So obviously they did get to see some of their friends while here. And I think it goes against the narrative that the press have tried to create, that Harry and Meghan are somehow isolated. No, they clearly do have a very loyal, very close group of friends. Okay, to your comments before we get to the next part. Oh. Yes, Karma is a female canine, indeed. Karma is keeping them busy. Yes, Daniel. Angela will definitely pay a heavy price. I mean, that woman is. She's literally just a glorified stalker at this point. A glorified stalker. Let's see. Avery, Tyndall so desperate for commercial deals, doing his drag show at the Jubbly. Oh gosh. What does Tyndall even do, FYI? I don't even know what he does. I think the wife was like an equestrian or something. Joseph, I said the Jubbly would be a 5-alarm dumpster fire. And you weren't wrong, Joseph. You weren't wrong. I'm so glad that I don't think there's any other major royal events other than the usual stuff that they kind of do that gets ignored anyway. There's nothing like this for a very, very long time. And this was pretty anticlimactic anyway. Okay, so yeah, and you had the Daily Beast, which is, I believe this is one of Murdoch's rags, saying a friend of the royals expressed irritation felt by many, telling the Daily Beast, would it have killed them to wait a few hours? First and foremost, just utterly disgusted at the use, and I do think it's deliberate, of the word killed. Would it have killed them to wait a few hours? Like, these people, they don't use certain words by accident. I find that very vile. And the royal experts expressed the irritation by many. Who is irritated here? because Harry and Meghan's fans aren't irritated. We're happy they hightailed it out there. So is it the haters that are irritated? Because they seem to spend more time focusing on our faves than even the fans do. And somebody very funnily edited it to what we actually heard. A friend of the racist royals in Britain needing a reason to bit the Duke and Duchess latched on to their departure time. Yeah. They came, they did what they were meant to do. Harry came to pay respect to his grandmother, and so the Queen could see her granddaughter. Meghan came to support her husband, and then they left. There was nothing else for them to do here. What did you want them to do? Paul Charles, I think Kate Storm now realizes that her daughter chose the wrong brother. I mean, I feel like most people realize that Harry was the better brother a long time ago, and no one else, it really seems, wanted their daughter for William. So I don't understand why Karen Middleton couldn't see that when nobody else wanted their daughter for William. Fatima, Angela Levin is her mother's daughter. Well, she did a whole article talking about how much she hated her mother and her mother was awful. And she doesn't seem to realize that she's basically become a woman that she hates. So, oh, Mike is former captain of England rugby team. Okay. Okay, so he did do something useful, but it doesn't mean he's doing anything useful these days. Kate, yes, I did mention that, and it's on my TikTok as well. That's Amen Holmes. Mr. Throw them off a balcony is now in hospital. And that Ofcom report is actually still ongoing. It hasn't, I don't think there's been a conclusion yet. Yet. Yes, Joseph, Lilibet broke the internet without the Queen. I'm still convinced, like a lot of people are saying, that we'll see a Christmas card with the Queen. I think that's what we'll see. Also, there was more footage from Louis' tantrum that came out, and what's quite interesting is at one point, while all this is going on, William is just concentrating on George. Like, he's not making any effort to try and calm Louis down at all. He just seems really, really passive. And then the only time that Louis actually calms down is when Kate says, "Do you want to go to Grandpapa?" And Louis runs over to Charles, and he's so calm around Charles, but he doesn't seem to want to behave around the mum, and the dad seems really, really passive and just focused on George. So there's just some really weird family dynamics going on there. And like I keep saying, I hope those kids really do get help, but I think the grown-ups around them are very irresponsible. Anyway, following on from that, there was this article that came out that was very, very troubling, but, are we surprised? There was a racist podcast that targeted Harry and Meghan's son Archie. They described Archie as an abomination and called for the Duke to be judicially killed for treason. Now, I don't know if this was, because I haven't read more into the article, but I don't know if this was the same. Well, it might not have been, but there was that Nazi who got put in jail and his friend for threatening Harry some time ago. So I don't know if these are the same people or a different group of people. But either way, you can't tell me that Harry and his family do not need security. And it is the culture of hatred and vitriol that the British press created that led to this, as well as the silence from the royals to protect Harry and his family. That's what's led to this. And as Pagan very rightly said, did any of the so-called royal reporters, aside from Omid, mention the men being charged for wanting to see Archie put down? I'm asking because some would argue that the selective nature of what they highlight about the censuses plays a role in indoctrinating hatred. Exactly. And so not only do the tabloids play into the hatred, they also omit the harsh truths and the level of vitriol that's directed at the Sussexes in order to make the Sussexes look like they're overreacting. And both of those things are just an abomination. And I don't know what can be done to hold the press accountable, because they are contributing to this environment where this continues to happen. And I don't think that this case of people targeting Harry's family and the children, I don't think that this will be the last for as long as the press continue. So I think us in the squad just have to continue doing what we're doing. I do believe this will come to an end. I can't say that I know how, but we are gaining momentum. We are becoming a powerful voice against the tabloid press. So I think at this point, all we can do is continue to do what we've been doing and collect the receipts and push back. Because one by one, the dominoes are falling. Lilibet, we are a nation of 68 million people in the UK, but could only manage 7.5 million views of the Jubbly. Oh, okay. So was that the final viewership? That's quite interesting. Don't listen to all the hype and propaganda for the royal family and the Jubbly. Well, thank you for giving us actual figures. I mean, in terms of overall viewing figures, isn't that pretty much what, I don't know, Britain's Got Talent or Strictly would get? That's quite bad. Especially for something that was meant to be, you know, the crown jewel on the Queen's Jubilee. So that's saying a lot. Thank you very much for that, Lilibet. Maggie, yes, my question, why wasn't Dad involved in the mess? And you know, there's also another video of Louis, like he's really going at Kate. Like I feel like the second video is even worse than the one where he puts his hand over her mouth, because, you know, a 4-year-old child should not be that incandescent. And you got to ask, where does he get it from? It's learnt behavior. That was not a tantrum. That was learnt behavior. He's learnt that from somewhere. He's learnt to dismiss his mum. Sister Anne, the British media is very quiet about Louis' tantrum. Well, they're not quiet about it. I think they're just, it's the way they're reporting it. They're trying to brush it off as, you know, something that was cheeky, something that was funny. Anyway, just following on slightly on that story about the terrorists targeting Harry and the kids, there was this brilliant article that came out in the Irish Times. You know, the Irish do not play with the royal family. That said, Harry and Meghan's baby photo fallout shows they were right to leave Britain and the royals. And indeed, I mean, look at this tweet that was a response to a Variety article about Lilibet. Jennifer Lopez is far more beautiful than her. Why are you comparing a grown woman to a baby? And that tweet actually got like almost 1,000 likes and retweets. It's absolutely insane. I don't know why that person decided to post that. And I don't know why the thousands of people that liked and retweeted it. But there are just some very sick and twisted people out there. And I don't understand it. It's a baby. There should have been one of two reactions to this photo. Number one, if you don't care, no reaction. And if you liked it, oh, that's cute and sweet, a baby. That's it. And people are just insane. But we saw this with Archie, and unfortunately it continues with Lilibet. And I hope that there will be repercussions coming soon for people that target these children because it's completely out of hand. Choice. I've never I've never seen so many children hitting, licking, and poking parents. The behavior, yes. Um, that was not normal behavior. Those are not tantrums. That was something very, very deep. And I'm so sick of people, saying comments like, "Oh, you don't have kids." Well, I was a kid once, and I helped raise my little sister. She would not have. Yes, she had tantrums, but nothing compared to what I saw. To what we all saw the other day with these children. It wasn't just Louis. It was the other kid as well, Tyndall's kid. Oh, but again, like I always say, I blame the parents, not the kids. Joyce, I think the podcast with the supremacists is a new situation. The others are in jail. Okay. Thank you for clarifying. So yeah, that was that. And so in order to actually, let me just backtrack a little bit. So I think one of the most interesting things that has come out of Lilibet's pictures now being released is it's taking people back to the Oprah interview and the fact that there were, quote, concerns about Archie's skin color. And it's just incredible. First of all, just point blank, the idea of being concerned about a baby's skin color is just disgusting. But when said baby's parents are white and biracial and very light-skinned biracial at that, why on earth would you think that the baby would come out dark anyway? And the royals, specifically William, because I do believe that it was William that made the comments about Archie's skin color, just exposed their racist asses over two kids that came out ginger and blue-eyed. Are you not embarrassed? This is embarrassing. And we all remember, or I'm sure some of us will remember anyway, back when William was asked about Archie. And his response was, "I already have a nephew," referring to Kate's sister's son, Pippa's son. And like this Twitter commentator said, that was the first time he made it clear publicly that he did not recognize Archie as his nephew when Archie was around 2 months old. And there has never really been a clear acknowledgement from William or Kate about Archie. It's like this kid does not exist to them. There was, I can only remember one set of pictures of Meghan and Archie with Kate and the kids. What was interesting about those pictures, though, is that, number one, those are the only pictures that we've seen, and that those were paparazzi pictures. And I did wonder at the time, were the paparazzi called to make it look like they were being friendly and welcoming when we never saw pictures of them together any other time? And it's not that common that you see paparazzi, those kind of wide lens pictures of the royals with their kids. So I was always very suspicious of those pictures. And at no point, pretty much since Archie was born, have you even heard William or Kate mention Archie, his actual name. We've heard Kate mention Lilibet's name, but it was only when she was asked, and she was very much caught off guard about it. Technically, well, the British media did depict Archie as a monkey, yes. And they tried to defend it. That was that BBC DJ who I believe has now been rehired. And once again, nobody in the royal family said anything. Chief of Dilly, every member of the UK press that target Harry and Meghan will fall, mark my words, one by one. Yes. I do believe that that is going to happen. I mean, can you imagine if these kids were still here just the thought of it just makes me shudder. Uh, Paul, they said it was Charles who made the comment, or I think it was. I believe that it was either Charles or William, but I do think at this point, with everything that's happened, I mean, I don't know how long you've been following this podcast, Paul, but I believe that it was William, just based on everything that we've seen. And then there's also been stuff about oh, they should do DNA tests of Lily. I mean, Jesus, these people are just weird. So because of all of this that's been going on, the Shane Bridges started leaking to the press. Now there was a story that came out about the Cams and their kids being invited to, supposedly being invited to Lily's birthday party, or at least the kids being invited to the party. Now this is what the Telegraph said versus what we heard. So what they said, a royal source confirmed the Cambridges and the Sussexes had no interaction during the busy weekend, suggesting that relations between the couples remained strained. A line was crossed with the Oprah interview, and it's hard to come back from that. Not least when there has still been no acknowledgement of the motivations behind it and the hurt it caused. Someone needs to be steely in this, said the insider. I mean, do I need to unpack just how ridiculous that statement sounds? And we are very aware of the fact that throughout all of the difficulties that the Sussexes faced, they received no help. We know about the impact that the whole Meghan made Kate cry incident had on Meghan. Kate said nothing. And we know that it was William who set Jason Noff on Meghan to try and get her to lose the court case of the Daily Mail. So when they say it's hard to come back from that, well, what have the Sussexes done other than defend themselves and tell their truth? I think really it's hard for the Sussexes to ever trust these people again, especially William. So somebody translated all of that hogwash, what we heard. A royal source for the Cambridges confirmed the Sussexes had no interaction with them during the busy weekend, which to the surprise of no one, shows the relationship remained strained, and probably will do until William apologizes. A line was crossed when the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were willing to go on the record to refute the lies that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge had been using anonymous sources to spread about the Sussexes. The Cambridges will not acknowledge the Sussexes' motivation in wishing to set the record straight because the Cambridges are more focused on feeling deeply hurt that their duplicity was exposed. Amen. The Cambridges remain steely in their resolve never to apologise because as future monarch and consort, they feel it is their divine right to use those around them. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have earned a place in the spotlight, but the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge feel the spotlight should be given to them. And they remain resentful and vindictive until their wishes take precedent. Well, their wish pretty much came true during the Jubbly. There they were on the balcony, looking very miserable, looking like the Addams family. So they got what they wanted, but just not in the way that they wanted it. And I love this tweet from Veronica McDonald. She said, William trying to figure out how these babies with Negro blood, the ones he had to skin check, ended up looking like clones of his brother. And we know that so often when things leak to the press, it's coming from inside the house. I mean, Dan Woo said it himself. I'm actually starting to wonder, and you all can give me your opinion in the comment section. Do you think that Wooten is working for the palace, or do you think that Wooten is a tabloid hack who is out for his own gain and he's just using the situation to get more money and clout? Because, and the reason I say this is because there's nothing that Wooten is doing that is helping the palace or helping William and Kate. So I'm willing to accept or theorize that he could be just acting out for his own gain. And if that is the case, have the palace now lost control of the press? Because that's kind of what it seems like. You tell me what you think. Frederica, hi Frederica. Having been in an interracial marriage for 21 years, I experienced a lot of ignorance and ugly from people. I could write a bestseller. I posted why people of color have light-skinned babies. It's all genetics. Well, if you write that book, darling, I will promote it on this podcast. Please tell your story. And yeah, I mean, even myself being in interracial relationships, you do experience ignorance from all sides. You know, I've had relationships with white men, and I've experienced ignorance both from the white side and from the black side, from the black community as well. So you get it from both sides, and it's just it's something that you know that you unfortunately have to deal with. And but I think, and I don't know if you feel like this, Frederica, but I guess in a way it just forces you to love more. That's what I felt anyway. In a weird way, it kind of brings you closer together and makes your love stronger. Because I think it's a wonderful thing when, regardless of other people's ignorance, you can still just find love anyway. Poetry is polite. William is making a stupid face in Archie's Christian photo. You know what? When I went back and looked at the christening photos after Finding Freedom was released, they looked completely different to me. And you're right. You can see William's face is very stern. To then find out that Kate was wearing Diana's earrings, that made me look at the picture very differently. And you can see that she's like she's got the forced grin, not like the happy grin, like the forced one. All right, was there anything else that yeah, there was just this before we go to comments and wrap up. So in Kenya, this is a squaddy who tweeted this. She only found one picture in a Kenyan national newspaper on the Queen's Jubilee celebration, and of course it was of Harry and Meghan. Because they're the only two people that mattered at this whole event. And can you really blame people in other Commonwealth countries? Because there was a time when Harry and Meghan tried to start the conversation about Britain's colonial past and acknowledging the past. And, you know, they didn't say the R word, reparations. They never said that word. But I think many in the British press decided to run with it and criticize them for saying this. And now it's all fallen. So now they've got egg on their faces because we saw how bad the Caribbean tour went. And it's just such a stark difference. Harry and Meghan saying that they want to acknowledge the past and have a conversation about it, and William just simply expressing sorrow with a silly speech. And so is there any surprise then that the only people that some of these countries want to acknowledge at the Queen's Jubilee is Harry and Meghan, the two that wanted to have a serious conversation? All right, that is pretty much all I have for today. I'm going to wrap it up with your comments. I know that there were stories going around again about the private jets. And listen, this is what I'm going to say for the last time, because I feel like every single time the British press don't have anything to go on, or they're trying to distract. Like this time, I think they were trying to distract from the amazing reaction to Lily's photographs. They've now come in going back to the private jet story because Harry and Meghan took a private jet home. I have always said that I think if you are a high profile, high security risk person, I do not have issue with people like that flying private jets. I think the whole private jet thing is just, I don't think that there are so many other bigger polluters and things that can be done, like environment wise, that I just don't understand why it's become such a big conversation. And I believe that a lot of these companies now, do have like credit programs. And this is why the whole stunt by the Cambridges was just stupid. When they had they flew economy flights empty to pick them up, just to make a point that we're flying economy, but they were empty planes. So they've basically created a situation where they're always going to look like hypocrites now, every single time the press comes after Harry and Meghan. But yeah, just know that whenever they want to distract from something, it's either going to be the private jet story or the the Meghan bullying story. They'll bring that back up. Or I don't know, what else do they usually bring up when they haven't got anything? It's just the usual nonsense. So just ignore it, guys and dolls. And I will not be talking about this private jet story ever again. All right. Thank you everyone so much for joining. 1,200 in the chat today. Yes, thank you as always for reminding everyone, Lucy Win. Thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much to the mods. And yeah, let's just wrap up with your comments and we will call it a night. Gwendolyn, I'm so glad Harry and Meghan's kids aren't around those heathen. Indeed. Indeed. I'm glad that they will not have to grow up around all of that chaos. Yes, Ivor, the monarchy's days are numbered. Absolutely numbered. Joseph, when a child is raised like a spare deity, they act like Welling Kate's kids. Yes. And this is how they've always raised these kids. Like the cycle just continues, and that's what Harry wanted to break for his kids. Sharon, if you were a kid, why would you want to be stuck in a boring ceremony with adults? I don't blame the kid. Indeed. And I think the concert actually went on a little bit into the night as well. So they must have been exhausted. Poetry is polite. Ball crossed the line when he gave permission to Jason Knopf. There is no coming back for that. Indeed. Absolutely no coming back from that. That is just the ultimate betrayal. Because then it's no longer even about like interpersonally what's going on with the family. You're now involving the press, an external institution, to sabotage your brother's wife. I mean, I've heard about family betrayal, even between the rich and famous, but that is a whole nother level. Getting the press and the courts involved, that is a different level, even for the rich and famous. That one I've never heard of. Let's see what I was just saying. Yes, Rachel's son, Harry and Meghan have nothing to apologize for. I agree. And then they need to just leave leave the Oprah interview alone. It's gone. Okay, so your comments about Dan Wu, Janet, both. You think he's a snake? Tabloid hack? Written out for his own gain? Truthfully, he's a snake in general. Doesn't matter who he's working for. And like he's in it for himself. It's difficult to tell though, isn't it? Noff was leaking to Wooten, they're friends. You think that Wooten is blackmailing William Melita? That's an interesting one. Maggie, you think that Wooten is acting for his own game? But don't you think he has to be careful? Kat Harlem, Wooten has gone rogue. He's acting on his own behalf. He's petty because he lost his royal counter. I think so as well. That is actually a very good analysis, Kat Harlem. Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think he maybe was a mouthpiece, but now he's gone rogue. I think you're right there. All right, let's wrap this up. Who's going to get the last word of the day? Favy Brown, yes, 1.1K. At one point, it was 1.2. Thank you, everyone. Cindy, I think the tabloids run the palace. Well, it's all seem to have gone haywire. All right, who's getting the last word of the day? Poetry. Big ass empty planes, indeed. Rachel, agree. There are these major corps are bigger polluters, and then private planes. I think just bigger polluters than air travel in general. Like, why aren't we focusing on? Isn't companies like Coca-Cola, the oil companies, aren't they like the biggest polluters? It's like they just want something to grab onto. Okay. See, he's going to get the last word of the day. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on TikTok, guys and dolls, if you want more funny short videos. I'm gonna Chat Lily, you're gonna get the last word of the day. Okay, healed hussy out. Peace. Yes. Peace to all of my brazen hussies out there. May we forever be brazen and do our hussy thing. Have a wonderful day, everyone. And yeah, as always, if there's any news stories, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you as always. Bye.
I know I messed it up, but in my soul, I feel a love for you that's out of control.